Hi guys, good evening. So tonight I really wanted to talk about different languages of love. It's a book from Dr. Gary Chapman, which is basically the 5 languages of love. I love this topic ever since I heard it the first time at a parenting class. And I thought, this makes a lot of sense. So I wanted to share it with people. The original book is based off of relationships with your spouse or your significant other. And then he ended up writing a book on how to raise children with with different love languages. So why is it really important to understand the concept of the 5 love languages? Because each child has a different love language. Which is really interesting because a lot of times we think we're giving so much love to our kids, and we think that the child is and with our spouse too. And how many times did we say this? I don't really feel like you love me. Or how many times did we hear this? I don't really feel like you love me. I think I just said it to my husband today. I said, we don't spend enough time together. I don't feel loved. And he's like, what do you mean? We just went out. So obviously, I was complaining because I was lacking in that because he was not home a lot this past week. So he may be expressing love, but I'm not hearing it because his love language is not, what mine is. So it's good to understand each other. And so why is it important to understand this with children? Hi, Bella, how are you? I'm glad you're watching. That's my aunt. So basically, how do you effectively love children? That's basically the topic of today's talk. I don't know if we'll get through all 5 because it's a lot, but maybe I'll divide it up in a few sections. All right, so every child has a love tank. And when you feed their language, the tank fills up. And when the tank fills up, they grow up to become normal adults and they're happy, they're functioning. And when you don't fill the tank, what happens is they're totally lacking and they end up, looking for love in all the wrong places. So it's really important as a parent to understand what your child's love language is and kind of feed that as much as you can. That's not to say don't give the other forms of love. That's just to say lay it on thick with that language that they love. Okay? So let's begin. Let me see here. The first one is physical touch. So as soon as a child is born, right, we start to touch them. They're so cute, and we caress them. So they feel love. They don't even understand, right, what's going on, but that's the first presentation of love that we show a child is the physical touch. And they actually did studies in places like foster care, and they saw children who were touched more and they were held more were much more better developed than children who were just kind of left, unfortunately, in a crib and neglected, which makes a lot of logical sense too. So it's important to cuddle them and hold them. And how would you know if this is your child's primary love language? Well, I think this is a very good tip that I read and that I heard from the book. Ask them to fill in the blank, and maybe not to your face, maybe just ask them to write it down. I know my mom loves me because. Hi, Marina, how are you? So when they answer, I know my mom loves me because, actually asked my child to write down what, he thought I was crazy. He's like, why are we doing this? I said, just write it down. And so he answered, my mom loves me because she takes care of me, and she makes me food and takes care of me when I'm sick. So a lot of his language is basically taking care of me, so acts of kindness, and he also loves quality time together, which is hard for some people because it's so hard to find time these days. Okay, so back to physical touch. So if your child answers, I know my mommy loves me because she always hugs me when I come home from school, and then before I leave, she gives me this big kiss, and I know she loves me. That child wants to be hugged and touched, and maybe she's going to ask for a massage before she goes to sleep because she's like, I really want to crave that form of love. I really want to get that form of love that I'm craving, rather. Okay, so that's that. As the child gets older, the language changes with that particular thing, so they'll want to be wrestle together. If it's a boy, he'll want to fist pump as he gets older because physical hugging the mom is kind of awkward, but in the end of the day, they still crave that and they still need to be given that. The second one is words of affirmation. So this type of person loves to hear things like, you look beautiful when you smile, and I think you did a great job on that in that class, and things like, I love you. So simple things like that. Even for an infant, you could use this one because they hear the tone of the way you speak. They may not necessarily hear, obviously they don't understand what you're saying, but they hear the tone. So from the get-go, they're like, Mommy loves me because, oh, I love you, you're so cute, right? That's how we talk to babies. And they feel the tone. They feel the tone of love. All right. Another thing that's important about words of affirmation is, for raising children, is when they come home and they get a B on the test, or they didn't do well on something, praise the effort. Don't praise perfection. That's something I noticed a lot for myself. We all want to be praised for the hard work we put in, and then afterwards we can, tell them, maybe you could have done things a little differently. How could we improve your grades? And incidentally, this works on your spouse too. So when you come home and he didn't get you the gift that you wanted, he didn't do necessarily what you wanted, you could say, thank you for, whatever he did. Thank you for trying, and I appreciate it. And then afterwards, you could mention something about changing, because he'll feel good inside, and he'll want to improve himself, okay? When you say I love you to a kid, that's words of affirmation. And words should stand alone. There should not be like, I love you when you clean your room, or I love you when you do good grades. Obviously, that's not something we want to say to our kids. Let's see what else. Quality time. So if you're the kind of person who loves to spend time with someone, and that's the way you feel love, I think I'm far up there with quality time. I like people spending time with me. That makes me feel loved. A child would say when the child comes home, Mommy, let's go play. I want to go play. Come play with me at the toy that you bought for me. I want to play with the toy. So those people who want to play with you all the time, just stop what you're doing, because they just need to be filled in their love tank. They need to have that experience, if you can, obviously. Like if you're making dinner, and it's easier to just stop, come, fill their tank for a few minutes and say, yeah, let's play together, and then go and he'll let you go do that in peace. And it should be undivided attention when you're giving them that attention. Why? Because if you're giving them attention, but at the same time you're on the phone with your friend, or you may be like catching a thing on the news, it's not quality time for them. Quality time is undivided attention. I mean, you could be a surgeon in an OR somewhere, but when you come home and you get down on the floor with the child on his level and you play with that child, that's really undivided quality time. So that's really helpful. I'm going to mention the other two, I think, a different time, because I don't like to spend too much time on Facebook Live, because my makeup's going to start wearing off, and I don't want that. I want to look like fresh at 10 o'clock at night. So I'm going to mention the other two a different time, but they are acts of kindness and gifts. So we'll talk a little bit more about that one probably later. So go home, not go home, you're probably home already, but when you're with your kids and they're not asleep, try to find out what their love language is. Ask them, if you could have one thing, a hug or being told you're terrific, which one would you want? So you would probably find out after asking a few of those kind of questions which one they really are. If a child really wants the physical touch, they're going to keep answering in that direction. So much to be said about this topic. I mean, it's like really such an amazing topic. I love it. And once you understand what their language is, you're going to find disciplining them is a little bit easier, because they're responding to you so much better, because they feel so much more. All right, it was really nice sharing with you my little tidbits about personal love and about parenting and love, rather. And I hope you have a good night. Take care. Bye. If I could finish, if I know how to finish this. I can't seem to press the button. Yeah, my phone is not, it doesn't want to close apparently. All right, so I guess I'll just continue talking. I don't know. Let me try again. All right, bye guys.